All right, we are here at the Windsor Masonic Temple. We got Worshipful Brother Bill Ritz of Rose Lodge behind us. Gonna tell you a quick story while Bill Ritz is blowing up balloons. A few months ago now, I think it was February, I found myself visiting my brothers in Rose Lodge, which is always enjoyable. But that night, to be honest, I was tired. I had a long day. While I always like visiting, I was definitely looking forward to the meeting being over and getting a chance to go home. And then Worshipful Brother Bill Ritz says he has a piece of Masonic education for us. And I'm thinking, great, this is just going to increase the meeting and it's longer before I get a chance to go to bed. And he starts pulling out balloons and he teaches us how to make balloon animals, which was by far my most memorable and my most enjoyable piece of Masonic education I've had so far. So with that, Bill Ritz is going to show us how to make some balloon animals. Maybe it's something you want to try in your Masonic Lodge. And yeah, we're going to turn it over to him now. All right.
All right, balloon animals. So this is something I've done for years that brings me a lot of joy and brings other people a lot of joy. So it's a nice thing. Everybody has always said, in terms of Masonic education, that you do your education about anything. You can get up and talk about a movie you saw, or talk about a book you read, or whatever. It doesn't have to be Masonic in nature. So I took that to the extreme and said, we'll call this Masonic education, but really it's just more of clowning education. But like I said, I think anything that spreads joy has some Masonic ties. So we'll start with my favorite one to make, which is a snail. It's very easy to make and very impressive. Kids love this one. So we're going to twist a little bubble to make a little head. Give it a few turns. Key to making good balloon animals is big hands are very healthy. You got to be able to hold on to a few things at once. So we're going to make a little head, then I'm going to make some antenna.
That's what she said.
Hey, there you go. The antenna is about a 2-finger bubble, like that, followed by another small soft bubble. And we do a thing called pinch twist. Actually, we'll do that in a second after I get 3 small bubbles there. So I'm making 3 in a row that are just little guys, put 1 finger, right? And you gotta keep them, you don't want them to be too inflated. If they're too big, they're gonna pop on you. The reality is all the balloons pop eventually. Balloon art is quite transient. There we go. So I have now made this little round one is the head. And we've got these 2 to match and 3 round ones to match. Bring the head underneath and give it a twist. Twist it together. And now we do the pinch twist. In the pinch twist, I'm going to pinch this middle one and the side one together, grab this guy, and give it a few turns. Come saw. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is the one we're going to twist. Pinch that middle one in again. And we're going to give it a few turns. See, a perfect snail face. It'll look more like a snail. We're going to squeeze our down. Oh, and there's why you always carry spares. We'll do this with a blue, and I'm going to make it real fast now.
I did that, I think twice when you were teaching me in Rose.
Believe me, I've popped more than I've made.
You mentioned balloons are transient in their nature. Is there any way to, like, if you want a balloon animal to last, is there like a special way to store it so it doesn't leak out quite as much?
You just have to let it go, man. The best thing to do is learn how to make them, and then when it dies, you can make another one. I think there is a shellac that you can put on if you really wanted to get ambitious. There's a drop. There's a chemical that you can buy where you put a drop inside the balloon before you inflate it, and then it spreads over the balloon, and it does preserve them a little bit longer, but nothing lasts forever. And then I'm not too keen on putting any random chemicals in here, because if they do pop and they pop in somebody's face, God knows what damage you're going to do to them. So, you know, that's actually one of the warnings. If you're making balloons and you want to make them for kids, young children are not appropriate for balloon animals because the first thing they do is stick them in their mouth and they blow up in their face. It can hurt their eyes and that. So it's always frustrating that, you know, if you get a couple of kids, maybe one's like 4 or 5 and the other one's 2, the 2-year-old doesn't get a balloon. I have to tell the mother, like, it's just not safe for them. They're gonna have to enjoy their brother or sisters, right? It's just a little safety thing, a little safety tip that I picked up that's well learned anyway. So we're gonna make our body. I've got that head reproduced, right? I don't know, measuring this out, I've kind of got to where I do it by eye. Fold it over, right? And I'm gonna twist this head in here. Note, I didn't pinch it there, I just let it fold over. We do this, and now it really doesn't look like a snail, but here's where the fun comes. Now you can mold balloons with the heat from your hand. Latex will hold its form a lot better, so if it looks like I'm really rubbing this thing, that's why. So I'm gonna just curl this around, I'm gonna make a curly shell, a little bit at a time. By keeping this against my warm palm, that's gonna keep helping it to form. I kind of warm it up, right? Each time I'm keeping my hands against the outside there, and that's what keeps it to hold its shape somewhat. It'll still pop out, but it'll have a tendency to stay in that curl. And then I just tuck that in there. And we have a pretty cool little snail. Now, the last part of this, and I have to use a key because I don't have any fingernails. And this is the other fun part, is you get to pop this one. I ripped that middle balloon out of the 3 when I did the pinch twist, and I get 2 little separated antenna and a real cool snail. Pretty neat.
Now, let's say you happen to find yourself as the Tyler of your lodge. Only there's nothing to protect your lodge from any Cowans who might find themselves eavesdropping. What could you do in such a case if you had only a balloon?
Let me think. Well, we'll make a balloon sword. This is perfect for the Tyler. I didn't even think to do this one, so I'm glad Cam suggested that, because this is a really easy one anybody can make. The hardest part of making any of these is blowing them up. And if you want to start at the dollar store, you can pick up a pump. They're like $2. It's the best thing you'll do. They break after about 10 uses, but at least you'll get a few blown up, because learning to blow them up by mouth, again, it's harder than it looks. You'll give yourself a stroke trying to do it. So for a sword anyway, once you make these 2, if there's a lot of kids around, every kid's going to want a sword because they want to fight with them. So they're fast and they're great. We call it for line work. If you have a lineup that you're entertaining, you can churn these things up real quick. So you're going to blow the balloon up almost all the way. Once I blow it up all the way, I'm going to give it a little squeeze just to make sure that the air is kind of evenly distributed. Then I'm going to let a little bit out, because if they're overinflated, that's when they pop. So I let a little bit out, tie it off. And this takes like 2 twists. So we make one little ball, just like we started with the snail's head. Then I'm going to fold this over like I did with the snail's body, only it's going to be a little smaller, a little tighter, right? And twist that, and then twist these 2 together. And then, this is called a lock twist. I'm going to push this balloon through the hole and around again. That locks it in so it can't untie itself. Just like that. So that's nice and solid. And then all you have to do, again, after you kind of even your air pressure out in there, pop that guy through the opening, pull it up. Using the warmth from your hands again, we'll just straighten it out, or you can leave it curved if you want to have a big kind of a big saber look. And there you go. Wow. Nice fencing sword, perfect for beating up your brother or sister.
No.
Or guarding the lodge.
No Cowan is getting through now.
That's right. They think twice when they saw this coming at them. To keep up with all the kids, that's the one I make. I'll make one whether a kid wants it or not and give it to them. Then every other kid in the line will start taking. You want to do one more?
Sure, if you want.
Sure. How about a duck? Now the duck I'm going to leave a little bit empty because we got a lot of twists to make in it, right? So my hands are a little bigger than average. I call this a 3-finger tail. Average guy's going to be a 4-finger tail. So again, I blow it up, I give it a little squeeze, and I let a little pinch of air out so that it's not too firm. And we're going to do some real feats of balloon twisting virtuosity, 3 bubble roll throughs. So here, again, we start with a small bubble, and then I'm going to do 3 bubble roll throughs. So each of these bubbles I'm going to make is going to be, all right, 2 to 3 finger bubble, like that. I'm going to make 3 of them. 1, 2, hold a match. Once I get the 2, I'm going to twist them together. And then I'm going to make a 3rd one that matches. Keep them soft. It's important that they don't get too firm. All right, bring that down. Roughly the same size. And here's the roll through part. I'm going to roll that through these 2. Like that.
That looked...
Straighten it up.
I've never seen a child being born.
You can imagine that it's something like that. We'll call it the birth of the 3 bubble roll through. So this is going to be its head. We're going to make a beak, which we just fold over like that. Kind of just eyeball it, whatever you think's a good appropriate size for it there. Then we're going to twist those together. Now we got a head, we got a beak. Make a small neck, just a little bubble for his neck. Now we're going to do another 3 bubble roll through. This one's going to be a little bit bigger than the head, and this is going to be for the body. You got to have a look at how much balloon you have left and kind of manage it that way, right? So if I go like that, that's pretty good. So I'll pinch it here, make a bubble, bring it back, make one to match, bring it back up, make another one to match. All right? We're going to twist those first 2 together, which I could have done before I made the 3rd one, but I didn't. There we go. Match that guy up again, and then we do the roll. Like that. Now, with a little bit of positioning, bring that neck back up and pinch it in there. And get that head turned around just so. Then we take the black magic marker that I didn't bring and don't have in my pocket, and we draw a couple of eyes on here, and a little mouth, and you got a really cool little duck.
It's okay, hold on to this for a second.
Sure.
Say hello to the people. I don't think we have any black, but...
Oh, hey there. Cam's
blue eye.
hooking me up with a marker here, so we'll see. Sometimes, depending on what kind of ink the markers use, they'll blow the balloon up almost immediately. But we'll see.
I have faith in you.
We'll put a couple little eyes on here. Give them kind of wonky eyes because they're more fun. Little mouth. All right, you give them little dots for whiskery kind of things. Even though ducks don't have whiskers, it does tend to make them look a little bit more like something. And then we got a little goofy little duck face for you. Sadly, the artistry of the faces is one of my great weak points when it comes to balloon twisting, so I tend to try to make ones that I don't have to draw on because I'm terrible at it. But different people have different skills. So there you go. You got a snail and a duck and a sword. A couple of nice simple balloon twists. Fun for kids, even more fun for adults, believe it or not.